Welcome to the Hollis Chapman Show, where we celebrate the power of words and the beauty of storytelling. Join us every week. We have conversations with authors and small business owners. We have exciting lineup of guests who will take us on a literary journey like no other. Join us as we delve into the world of authors and small business owners from diverse backgrounds and cultures, each bringing their own unique perspective and voice to the table. From thrilling memoirs to captivating fiction and business startups, our guests will share their stories, their struggles, and their triumphs, offering us a glimpse into the rich tapestry of human experience. Immerse yourself in the magic of words and discovery as we explore the global literary landscape together. So grab a cup of tea, cozy up by the fire, and join us on this adventure of a lifetime. The Hollis Chapman Show is your ticket to a world of imagination, inspiration, and enlightenment. Don't miss out on the opportunity to connect with some of the most talented and compelling voices in literature today. Tune in and let the journey begin.
Hello and welcome to the Hollis Chapman Show. I am Hollis. Happy Tuesday, everyone. I hope your week is starting off great. I am fired up for this show today, okay? So I'm hoping my guest calls in because he has a great story, a wonderful story, a motivational story, okay? Second chance story. That's you sit back and you see why people want to come to America. Why people fight to come to America? Well, this gentleman who was born here, he is an example of second chances. If you sit there and believe in yourself, you get your head right, positive things can happen. Outstanding things can happen. So I hope he's out there. Nick, check in. You see your show invite on your phone, please click that because we want to share your story with the listeners out there today. Second chances. It's all about second chances. It's all about getting yourself together. It's all about surrounding yourself with the right people. Because, God gave us talents. But it depends on who you hang out with. The talents may come or go. As a 21-year-old, we're all kind of flopping around doing certain things. Some of us play sports and get directed. Some of us do acting and modeling, so that it does, kind of steer us the right direction. But what if you kind of like, oh, what do I do now? I'm out of high school. Do I go to college? What do I do now? Well, he made a decision that cost him 3 years of his life. But it's going to be here to talk about it. He's going to be here to share, hey, we can get a second chance and do it. Okay? So please, Nick, check your phone, click on that link so I can see you, buddy. We can get you on and share this story. But again, you sit there, you go to social media, you hear the stories, why people fight to come to this country, why people sit there and want a second chance. And, again, you have a story, again, people sit there, it's rehab in prison. Do you really get rehab in prison? Or you come out worse than you did when you went in? You never know. But this gentleman, he came out doing great things. Great things. He's here to promote his first book. And that's always great. When you sit there and put yourself, you come out, you're on probation, you're an ex-con, and that's hard. You can't start the conversation when you're looking for a job, career, an ex-con. Well, the door may close right there. Okay, so I know a lot of you. I've had multiple ex-cons on the show before, and they all started their own business. I guess they'd get through, so we're very excited, okay? Sir Nick, I'm going to introduce you and stuff, and so I'm going to mute your phone, okay? So hold on one second.
Sounds good, man.
Okay. All right. I'm so excited to have him on the show, okay? Like I was saying before, second chances, we can do it. Our country provides that. But as a young person, when you get a second chance at 21 years old, what direction do you go? Well, he's an example of taking the right direction. I guess is home base in a very competitive New York City. He's a writer, he's an author, director, producer. Imagine that. Those are very competitive fields, very hard fields, and he's exceeding there. Okay, he studies acting, and also he has formed a nonprofit theater group, all very competitive, and he's doing well. Without further ado, let's welcome to our show our special guest that we're happy to have here, Mr. Nick Marshall.
Kind words, Hollis, and thank you for having me.
Oh, thank you very much, sir. Again, you're an inspiration to us. Your story is outstanding. When I saw it, when I got it from your PR people, I was like, oh, yeah, we're going to have him on the show. Because, again, sometimes you wonder why people want to fight to come to this country. Why do people do this and that? Well, you're an example of things, if you get your head right, you keep your head on your shoulders, positive things can happen. You know, you're 21 years old, you made a decision that cost you 3 years of your life. You tell more of a story now, okay, guys? Tell us more about yourself and your new book, sir. Go ahead.
Thank you so much, Hollis. So, look, I grew up in a middle class area in Bergen County, New Jersey. I probably had everything that anyone would ever want as far as chances. I was able to go to a Catholic school and play sports. I had a loving family. And unfortunately, somewhere something went wrong, and I can attribute it a bit to being bullied by my peers and a bit to feeling a bit ostracized. And I turned to selling drugs. And that selling drugs quickly led to, I became very good at it very quickly. And then those same people that used to bully me became people who were my customers because I had something that people wanted. So I quickly learned about a power dynamic that I was unfamiliar with at that age. And it kind of went and turned into an ego issue. And it fed this emptiness and hurt that I felt and really turned me into a bit of a monster. I loved mob movies, I loved gangster movies, and of all genres, um, both white and African American and Spanish. I love that whole element of power and evil, so to speak. And then my crew began to get a little bit bigger, and they came from inner cities, and I was introduced to a world that I was not privy to. And then we started robbing my suppliers. And what started off as like a one time thing became something we did a bit more of. And then I never actually participated in any of those robberies. I would just orchestrate them and pay people to do these things. And then one day we got into an argument over something that happened, and they called me a negative derogatory p word,
Yeah.
and that basically kind of made me feel all that bulliedness come back to the surface. And I said, well, F you, I'm going to go do it myself. I'm going to
Yeah.
get people, I'm going to get a gun, I'm going to get masks, I'm going to get gloves, and I'm going to do it myself. And when I did that, 3 days later, I was caught. And I spent a week in county jail. And that week, in and of itself, where we worked on lowering my bail because my parents could not afford the bail that they had set, was so eye-opening that when I came out, I thought, I will never step foot in a prison again. I will never do a crime again. I will never. It was like the rudest awakening one could see. However, then I started meeting with attorneys and realizing just the severity of my charges. I was facing 25 years for armed robbery, possession to distribute, possession with intent. I mean, like I had 8 different charges, very serious charges. And that's when I started to realize, uh-oh, I don't know what's going to happen here. So my one attorney who I ended up hiring looked at me and my mother over a table and said, you look like a Backstreet Boy. They said, you had a mask? I said, yeah. You gloves? Yeah. It's gone? Yeah. Where's the gun? They'll never find it. Okay. We got a case. Go back to college. Go back, figure out your education, because no judge, no jury wants to put someone with things going for them behind bars, especially with this much reasonable doubt. I was like, okay, great. So I set off to do that. And about 6 months in, my pleas went from 25 years, 18 years, 12 years, 10 years, 9 years, 7 years. And I was like, trial, trial, trial. And one of my professors during this time had noticed something in me. And he asked me, pulled me aside after class one day, and he asked me if I wanted to be a geologist. And I laughed. He was like, why are you laughing? Geologists make a lot of money. Look, I had this beautiful Corvette. I worked for Exxon. I now teach because I have money, because I want to help